guys, how you doing? It is Nasty here. Welcome today to a new episode of The Road to Glory. Now it's going to start off a little bit crazy, a little bit manic. When this screen goes, you're going to see that behind the screen, we are selling a whole bunch of players. Literally, the Bundesliga team's going to go. The French team that we had sort of concocted over the last couple of episodes, that's going to go as well. Well, some of them anyway, like the Matuidi's going. I think in this team, Begovic, Walker, Mathieu, Tremolinas, like there's a lot of players going to be sold right now, and it's all for an idea that I had, and I saw a couple of comments about a certain couple of players that people would kind of like me to buy, and I would kind of like to buy those players as well. So I had something in my head, and it does require me selling some of the more expensive Premier League players that we had accumulated over recent episodes. So Kyle Walker's gone, Eric Bailly's gone. We're going to need to replace them with some players. They're probably not quite as good, but Valencia comes in at centre-back. And I think we already had a Kurt Zuma, so he fills in for Eric Bailly. And as you can see, a whole bunch of players have sold. We're up to 134,000 coins, roughly. And I had this idea of a squad I kind of wanted that was a 4-3-2-1. So we're going to keep the Premier League squad, but we're going to use some of those players in a different team. And we're going to also bring in some other players from a different league. And this is the squad that I want to build. It features players from the Serie A and the Prem, and it's got Raja Nainggolan, and more importantly and more expensively, we have Dybala up front. And as you can see, I go and spend nearly my entire budget on Paulo Dybala, the Argentine striker. I know we needed to bring in someone huge for this series, and everyone raves about Dybala. So 113,000 coins, a 100k plus player coming into an account where we've literally not spent a penny. That's kind of cool. I go and pick up a Nainggolan, I get a nice cheap one on the market, and then realise, for Christ's sake, he's a CDM and I need him as a CM. But luckily I could sell this one on for a couple of thousand more than I bought it for, because I got a good deal, and not really lose anything on tax. And once that one had sold, well, luckily for me, I could go out and buy the centre mid version again. I'm also getting rid of Moussa Dembele. I didn't think I would see that day, but I had some ideas in mind. So we do pick up ourselves a Raja Nainggolan, another massive signing for the club. He's 84 rated and he costs around 40,000 coins. I then go and pick up a Nemanja Matic because I needed him for chemistry in the new mix squad. And also I needed another CM now that we'd sold Dembele in the Premier League team. And people rave about Matic being this ridiculous player. And I've used him once or twice and I've sort of thought the same thing. So this is my new look Prem team. As you can see, we're really running out of coins, and I've kind of got a lone Butland in goal at the moment, who's only got 3 games left, or 4 games left, I can't quite remember. So we might be in a little bit of trouble. This is where I ran out of coins. I couldn't afford Manolas, and he was like 4,000, 5,000 coins, something like that. And obviously I could probably go out and buy a Butland, or maybe I was even too short to buy that. But we can't use this team until we've got enough coins. As you can see there, we've got 694. Make that 494 because you guys asked me to start using chemistry styles. So, unfortunately, the Dybala I bought didn't come with one. I wanted to play him on a finisher chemistry style because that would boost his shooting and his physical somewhat. So that's what I ended up doing. And I put one of the engine chem styles that I got in my club on my CM Matic. So that's what I've done. I then went and listed a whole bunch of bronze stuff and also sold Renato Sanchez in the club. And we now have 5,400 coins, giving us enough to buy ourselves a Manolas for 4.9k. That now completes the team. Obviously, I need to earn enough coins over the next few games to buy myself a Butland because, you know, his loan is about to expire. But we do now have 2 teams. The only issue I can think of is that half of my mixed team is my Premier League team. So fitness is a bit of an issue. We don't have 2 complete rotation squads. But we have got something that I would think is suitable enough for FUT Champions. And that was another thing that I wanted to branch into. FUT Champs. People give me a bit of a hard time on Twitter recently about playing the daily knockouts when I don't play the weekend league. Well, first off, I like playing with no lag, get over it. And second, I kind of do want to play the weekend league now, so on this Road to Glory account is going to be the main aim where I can play the weekend league, hopefully. And it's not started off very well, has it? Normally, right, I breeze through the daily knockouts when I'm just playing on my main account with crazy teams, doing like getting clips for player reviews and squad builds and stuff. I don't even worry or think about what round I'm in, and then sometimes I'll just win the tournament and I'll be like, oh, that was the final, was it? And it's just that simple, because sometimes I get stupidly easy runs. And it was going to prove that, well, today doesn't look like it's going to be that, because we go 1-0 down. I do get an equaliser, but literally Dybala up the other end scores on me straight away. I'm back to being 2-1 down now. And you saw at the start, this guy had a pretty mega team. He had the likes of Dybala and Higuain. I think he had an informed Thiago. He also, a little bit like me, had that Raja 9 Golan. So this guy's got a nice squad, and he was a good player. I felt like we were pretty even, and I felt like maybe I could have just edged it somewhat, but I'm 2-1 down at the moment, and going into half-time, it looks as though we could possibly get another one. No, luckily for me, I do manage to save it, and we go into the half-time break. As you can see, I've had more possession, more shots, more on target. I feel like I should probably be the one who's in the lead, not the other way around, or at least drawing, right? But it didn't look like things were going to get better, because this guy pushed through. He nearly scored again. We do get a shot here with Dybala. Well, we sort of do, but we don't, because Hummels gets in the way. He then pushes down the wing with his David Alaba, who we know is a fantastic player. Whips it in perfectly for Higuain to nod home. And now we're 2 goals behind. Literally, I'm stressing myself out thinking about this tournament too much. I might not even qualify for the friggin' weekend league. I do get a goal back. A nice goal, actually, from Dybala. A really solid strike, even on his weaker foot. I wasn't expecting that to go in at all. But a good ball through from, well, it was a dodgy deflection, really. I thought Cuadrado played it. But looking back on the replay, he didn't. I then look, I'm so trying to get back into this game. It's not quite working. I play it through, doesn't quite work out for me. This guy then decides to do something odd, and I've never experienced this before. He scores an own goal towards the end of the match. I'm losing, and now I'm drawing. And then he scores another own goal, which he was beating me. He was going through. My only thought was that perhaps this guy has already qualified and was happy to do a random act of kindness and let me through. I do go ahead and score another goal here. This is a really nice goal, actually. It sort of sits up for Matic on his debut to score a bit of a worldie of a bicycle sort of crazy one. But I do that celebration like, you know, I'm not trying to be big-headed or anything. You've basically just gifted me the win. So I was a bit like, I couldn't do anything about it. He just scored own goals. He didn't know who I am or anything like that. But he literally just scored own goals. And I messaged him, and I'll show you the messages in a moment to see why he let me win, because I've literally never ever had that happen to me. But we go through the first round of the daily knockouts, and I was like skeptical on whether or not I wanted to show you that, because did we deserve that? Not a chance. No, we were literally losing the game. But I messaged saying, thanks, I guess. Are you already qualified? And he said, yes. Good luck qualifying. You're a decent player. So I said, thank you. Good luck in the weekend league. So yeah, it was the case that this guy was already qualified and he was just playing FUT Champs. And he decided to do a random act of kindness. Thank you very much, I guess. We are now through to the next round. Under really weird circumstances. That really sort of weirded me out, because I record all of this for you guys, and I didn't want you to think, oh, well, here we go. He's just getting his followers to let him through into the next round. He didn't know who I am at all. So, yeah, very, very odd. But a difficult first game that I shouldn't have gone through in. We go into the next one, and I'm using my Prem team this time. I've given the players that are in both teams a little bit of a fitness boost. And we do go into this one, and this guy was decent as well. Literally, the first few clips in this game are of him pushing through onto my goalkeeper and getting shots on me. Luckily, Butland was saving them, or he was hitting them wide of the post. Or like that one, Zaha knocked it over his own teammate. I hate it when players deflect their own shots. It's nuts. It's horrible. But on our first attack, we push through. Remy sticks it in the back of the net. One of the most clinical, ridiculous, awesome strikers I have used on this game. He really is just phenomenal, and he takes the chances when I get them, and sometimes I get chances few and far between, and he just nets them for me. He's got more than a goal to game ratio, and I've not necessarily tried to get goals with him. I whip it in. Who's there? Remy, 2-0. Do we deserve this one? Well, I guess, yeah. But it could have totally been the other way around. Like, this guy had multiple one-on-one chances against me to start this game off, which either my keeper or... I don't know what happened, but it seems as though someone up there is like watching down on me at the moment, hoping that I can qualify for the weekend league. He does push through and get through with Walcott, and he does stick that one into the back of the net to get that goal, 2-goal cushion for me down to only a 1-goal cushion. Which, yeah, not happy about that. And I was pretty stressed at this point. This guy was actually stressing me out. He was that good of a player. We do push through and get a very lucky hat-trick goal in the first half for Loic Remy. On his weak foot this time, just literally picked the ball up in a random area and managed to stick that one in the back of the net. And he is literally a god. He's been probably the most prolific, crazy player that we've had on this road to glory, 100%. But look at that. Very even first half. Should I have a 2-goal advantage? Most definitely not. Second half, I relied on my defenders, like, you know, doing good jobs with players like Chris Smalling and stuff. My goalkeeper, once again, Butland, going big. He's just a lone player, but he can stay in my squad forever as far as I'm concerned. And then, sorry, my throat is gone really dry and it's annoying me. But we whip it into the back post here. I do a looping header with Remy, but off the line by Alexandro, a very good player. I'd love to get him in the road to glory at some point. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen. And then Matic gets his shot blocked by one of my players, just like my opponent had in the first half. And more pressure now. This guy sort of capitulated somewhat, and I was the one that was able to get through on goal and have more opportunities. And eventually we don't score anymore, but we do win the game and go through into what would be the semi-finals of this tourney. So, a random act of kindness and what must have been either luck or clinical finishing has pushed us through both the first 2 rounds of the daily knockout tournament. I would say at the end of the stats there that I probably did deserve to win that match, but probably not by 2 goals, maybe just by the 1. And that is going to wrap up things today in this episode of the Road to Glory. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. We've done crazy things. We bought a Dybala, for Christ's sake, and a 9-goal, and we've switched the teams around. I'm going to have to try and get some coins back because I kind of need to make a Serie A squad and not have half my Prem team in the other squad, because fitness could be an issue, especially if we do eventually make it to the weekend league. You'll have to wait until tomorrow to see how the other 2 games go. If we do make it from the semis to the finals, can we qualify for the weekend league? And if so, the weekend I'll play, and you'll see more episodes of the Road to Glory next week on how I get on in that weekend league, if I manage to make it. So for now, all that's left to do is for you guys to smash a like on the video if you're feeling generous and kind. And also leave a comment down below. As I said, I'll be trying to respond to those as much as I possibly can for you guys now. Thanks for your comments on the last video. I responded to loads of you then. And have a great day. I'll catch you next time, guys. Peace.